Hello there, my name is Liam and welcome to Have They Been Given a Fair Go? In today's episode, we'll be exploring if Indigenous Australians are given a fair go at a good life. I'm a Sydney sider that lives in the Northern Beaches, so my relationship with Indigenous people is limited. However, it's hard to ignore the way that Australian society treats our First Nation people. Most of my knowledge comes from my auntie, who works for the Purple House, which provides a medical service for Indigenous Australians in Alice Springs. According to the Australian government, there are over 500 different clans, groups, or nations around the continent, many with distinctive cultures, beliefs, and languages. Today, Indigenous people make up 2.4% of the total Australian population. The biggest issue are First Nation people today are the health issues, stereotypes in society, and education, as just over half of Aboriginal Torres Strait Islanders people aged between 15 and 64 were not employed in 2012 or 2013, compared to 24% of non-Indigenous Australians, according to the Australian Human Rights Commission. Do we think we are giving Australian Torres Strait Islanders and Aboriginal people a good amount of medical services? How many suicides of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders have you heard of? Now think, how many white people suicides and have you heard about? There have been at least 35 suicides of Indigenous people this year in just 12 weeks, and 3 were children that were aged 12 years old, and 8 have been in the past week. And this is recent, but when did this show up on the news? When was this on social media? These things need to be heard about, not kept from us. Why do we call Aboriginal Torres Strait Islanders people alcoholics? Well, this statistic may say why. Indigenous Australians aged 14 and over were more likely to abstain from drinking alcohol than non-Indigenous people. 31% compared to 23%. Yes, it seems like they use it heaps, but it's increasing, but they should be the ones calling us alcoholics because we introduced the drug to them, and so we are the ones who started all of it. And we don't give them a good medical or health service for them to go to. They are using the drug just to get rid of their problems that we have made. We can fix this by educating people, and especially Aboriginal and Torres Strait people, to speak to someone and not to abuse the drug. Education. Do you think that Aboriginal and Torres Strait people have a good education? Well, according to this statistic, well, listen. In 2014 to 2015, around 1/4 of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people aged 15 and over completed Year 12 or equivalent. Year 7 in Year 10 had completed Year 10 or above. 29% had completed Year 9 or below. And this is quite sad. My proposal is that we give Aboriginal Torres Strait people 24/7 access to culturally complement mental health professionals and education, so that all the stuff we can put them down for and all that will be resolved, and that us Australians need to be educated about the Aboriginal and Torres Strait people. Thanks for listening.